our latest Martin Scorsese movie of The Irishman. When I heard this movie was coming out, I was really excited for it. When I heard it was going to Netflix, I was a bit iffy on it, but I'm thinking, no, it's Martin Scorsese. This is his latest movie since I'm pretty sure now it's his latest movie since The Wolf of Wall Street. And The Wolf of Wall Street is I don't know, it's definitely my top 10, but I don't know where it lands there. But I just adore that movie. So the fact that this is his next movie lined up after that, I was really excited for. As I said, that Netflix thing was kind of worrying me, but then I heard that they're actually going to put it in cinema for 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to rush and see it in cinema before going to see it and watch it before it comes out on Netflix and watch it there. Because I'd much rather go see it in cinema. If I could go back though, I would rather watch it on Netflix. This movie is more of a Netflix designed movie, because this movie clocks in at 3.5 hours, and I felt every second of that 3.5 hours. Like I looked and watched a good bit throughout this movie. I was like, it's just like every time I looked at it, it just maybe a minute or two had passed by. I'm like, Jesus. Like I was thinking to myself, I wish I was watching this on Netflix, so I could just pause it pause it every now and again for 10 minutes, just to kind of get a break from this movie, because this movie, it's a lot of story, a lot is happening, but a lot is happening at such a slow pace where the story kind of drags along a bit. So if I could go back, I would much rather watch this on Netflix, because I just thought it went a little bit too slow. And even though this movie is extremely slow, I thought there was points to it that I kind of lost interest in it, but I enjoyed the majority of it, and that was because of the three main actors. We've got like Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci, who were all phenomenal in this movie. Like they are mainly famous for their Martin Scorsese movies, especially like I think Joe Pesci was by far the best in this movie. I thought I don't know what he did that made himself really stand out to me, but I just thought he stood out the most to me. Even though every time I see him, even though I've seen him in many things, whenever I see him, I just see Marv from Home Alone. Like, oh jeez, there's Marv again, and it's just seeing what he does. Like, oh jeez, what Marv? What are you doing? And I thought he was phenomenal. He's aged a lot though, especially his face. His face, I don't know if they put makeup on him or if he just looks like that, but he looks like the kind of way Tommy Lee Jones has turned into a melted ice cream. He looks very similar to the way Tommy Lee Jones does. Robert De Niro looks great for his age. I think he's in his 80s, but he just looks really good. And Al Pacino, I was talking to a man before going into this movie, and he says, yeah, he looks horrible. I didn't think Al Pacino looked bad in this movie. I thought he looked really well, especially he's more in line with Robert De Niro than he is with Joe Pesci. But for Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, there was a few scenes where they were de-aged, and their faces, they looked phenomenal. The faces themselves, it looked like they actually were when they were younger in all the other movies. I think it's more it was probably 80s for the two of them, what they looked like, and it looked great. But if that was their faces, if you look at their hands are really old. And there's a scene when Robert De Niro he beats someone the crap out of him. It's a de-age scene, so his face, it looks like him, but the way he moves, because he's kind of like tripping over his feet, and he's kind of, the way his legs are going, it very much looks like it is Robert De Niro now. So it looks like a young Robert De Niro's face with an old man's body, and it kind of took me out of it a bit as well. The way he shoots, it's very much a way an old man would shoot. That as well, the de-aging, it looked phenomenal in the face, but the rest of it just didn't really hold up the same way it didn't for Nick Fury and Captain Marvel. When he's typing, he typed like an old man. It's just like they're old men. It's kind of hard not to expect them to act like it, but the de-aging just wasn't really there for me just because of that. And as well, now, as I've said, this movie is very long, but as I was thinking after, there's nothing they can actually cut out of this movie, because this movie is very structure based. So it goes from one point and it kind of travels, it goes back a bit, like back in time a bit, but you need to have all that back in time bit to understand where we're going. So there's no way they can actually cut anything out of this movie, and it would still be a good structured movie, because if you could cut out anything, there's stuff that wouldn't really make sense. So they kind of have to have the entire 3.5 hours long there. But as well, the story itself was incredibly interesting. And to think that this is also a true story isn't as bad as some other true stories that in the kind of mafia, but it's kind of the main one. Like, I think it's still kind of messed up, and it is a mafia movie. But I think the fact that it's a big mobster movie, these are the three huge mobster actors. I can't think of anyone else. I think the mobster genre could maybe die with them, just because I can't see any of the three of them doing anything else after this, because they're kind of too old to be doing anything like this again. And there's been no other mobster movies, I could be wrong about this, that doesn't have them in it that has been like a major success. So that's why I'm thinking this genre could be dying soon, just because these three phenomenal actors in this genre are kind of ending. I hope it doesn't. I'd love to see more mobster movies, but I just think because these are the three main guys, we might get some lower budget movies, but I don't think we're going to get a mobster movie as well. Martin Scorsese is massively famous for these, because all four of them are kind of getting up in age. I don't think we'll get a big phenomenal movie just like this one again, or Goodfellas, just because these are kind of events movies. Like everyone's excited for this movie. Like I went to see this in cinema last night, 8 o'clock. Didn't finish at 12:15, but that cinema was packed. I was not expecting the cinema to be packed at 8 o'clock in a suppose a Saturday night. I was not expecting that whatsoever. So the fact that I think that was such a big huge crowd, I don't think a mobster movie is going to get to that scale again unless they kind of get some new Robert De Niro's or Al Pacino's or Joe Pesci's. They need to kind of get newer, younger versions of these actors. But I just think that's going to be very hard for them to actually do. Now, I know when it comes to this review, I was a lot more negative than I actually was positive, but I actually did really enjoy the movie. I thought it was a great story. I enjoyed all the acting. The directing was brilliant. There was just a lot more negatives. I thought that runtime just really did drag out. And I'd say if you were going to see this movie, of course, wait for Netflix. I just can't really see someone. I don't think it's a good cinema experience just because it's so long. And because it just really is a slow movie. It was like Endgame is only a half an hour shorter, and that did not feel like 3 hours. So the fact that this feels like 3.5 hours, even longer, I just can't really recommend this as a cinema movie. I think it's perfect for Netflix, and I think Netflix is the perfect place to watch. So if you do want to see it, wait for Netflix. But if you don't, I don't think if you're not a fan of this genre, I wouldn't say really bother with it because it really is. It's like a love letter to this genre just because it's the four main people of this genre in this movie. So if you're not really a fan of this genre, I wouldn't really kind of bother with it as well. But I do enjoy it. It's in my top 10 of this year. I think it's 9 or 10, but even though it's in my top 10 now, I don't see this ending in my top 10 of the year because we got Star Wars and movies like that coming in. So I think this won't be in my top 10, but for the moment it is my top 10 favorite of the year, and I was surprised by that coming out. I wasn't expecting it to be there, but after I was thinking, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it more than it, so I had to put it there. I was going between this or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Which one do I like more? But I did enjoy Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a lot more than I did enjoy this, but I still enjoyed it. So anyways, if you did like this review, click like or subscribe so you can see other movie reviews just like this one. Share the video as well, and as always, thanks for watching.